Are you tired of your players turning your dungeon boss into a one-round piñata? Are you too new or too nice as a DM to deliberately hurt the party for fear they may resent you? Are you struggling to create danger for players above your skill level? Are you done with how easily the players derail your best laid plans? Welcome to the metagame and allow me to assist you with building a better bad guy. Before we begin, let us get a few things straight. First, this advice is in the context of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition in particular, but there are many fundamentals that will be useful no matter what tabletop game you play. Now, these will not be exercises about how to build unbeatable bosses, write deep complex characters and motivations, how to be a better DM, or how to talk to problem players. There are plenty of great guides elsewhere for that. Here we will hone your ability to design more challenging encounters, how to execute winning combat tactics, how to counter powerful adventurers and popular team tactics, how to send proper assassins, and more of the things that set a high-profile boss apart from an amateur thug. But before we do that, you need to understand the goal of a game is to have fun. That means for both the players and you. There are many resources to assist players in growing themselves and their PCs, and so, in the spirit of fairness, I stand with the DMs to enable them to have fun designing overlords with ruthless efficiency and elegant cruelty. With that being said, here are 5 things you need to understand as a DM on setting the stage to playing a villain. You will play fair, though you will not play nice. Allow me to be lucidly clear. It does not matter what the villain is or how you wrote them. Using plot armor, deus ex machinas, dramatic, scripted events, invincible NPCs, denying the players a chance to do something, or simply cheating on rolls are all unacceptable. That's what lazy and selfish DMs do, and players have every right to be mad at you if they smell those shenanigans. You live by the dice, you die by the dice. You also do not need to resort to those cheap tricks. May I remind you, as the main villain, you have considerably more time, resources, and most importantly information than the party does. You hold all of the cards, especially when they eventually come knocking or otherwise on your lair door. It may seem like cheating, but any smart villain will know most of the party's capabilities and tactics, will tip the scales of any battle in their favor, and is not too proud to prepare an escape plan. The mastermind is there to win. Listen to me. As the DM, you are not here to give a poor performance. You are here to deliver a campaign your audience will appreciate, and a hero is only as good as the villain. So, if the PCs claim to be heroes, it would be your due diligence to test the strength of that claim. As the villain, I am certain you keep busy accomplishing whatever win condition you set for yourself. But allow me to remind you, the ragtag group of adventurers is used to winning, used to looking and feeling good, and used to taking from others to feed their sense of justice. Once they eventually appear on your radar, it would behoove you to ensure they have a bad time. Whatever your methods, you will steal, trick, and embarrass them. You will demoralize them and break their spirit before you break their bodies. You will kick them while they are down and they will know despair. They will fight and they will lose. They will learn, the hard way if need be, that any opposition to your influence has a precedent for failure. In game terms, that does not mean your goal is to be a murderous psychopath every session and go for a TPK, as that is low-hanging fruit, not very creative, and a waste of perfectly good victims. Surely you can think of better uses for them. Understand their thought process. Regardless of what values your villain stands for, never, I repeat, never, play them as chaotic stupid. Your villain is not going to magically single out the adventuring party when they are level 1 and chasing chickens and snuff them out. They are also not going to wade into the middle of a group of level 20 adventurers with their melee weapon and start mindlessly swinging for the fences. Your villain is not an emotionless combat robot, nor a brainless stat block. This is a war game with imagination, so without creativity and flexibility, you will fail. Your villain will use tricks, they will use schemes, and they will see the party coming and be prepared. If it comes to it, they will fight with prepared advantages, and sometimes they will want to parlay, coerce, or negotiate. They know their spells, they know their abilities, and they know that one time the party threw a portable hole into a bag of holding at an earlier boss. You are no less creative and resourceful, so no shortcuts. Do your homework, memorize the tools of your villain, including preparing how to accept defeat whenever and however is appropriate. If the party overcomes them in combat, so be it. If they talk you down and your villain is reasonable, allow some compromise. If the villain is open to being emotionally guilted into submission, let it happen. If they beat the villain in a dance-off, it is what it is. No one is flawless, not the PCs and not the villain. It may seem like a lot of effort, but I assure you, if you do not care about making a quality villain, you cannot expect the group to care any more than you. Never assume player responsibility. Now, you as the DM are welcome to world build however you want, but I feel one thing that will help you is not to allow players to take some liberties with your world for granted or make undue assumptions. For example, PCs should not be able to walk up to any dirt village merchant and get 5,000 gold for the jewel they found, even if it appraises for that much. If the PCs try to start a fight with or exploit NPCs, or brag of their recent achievement, those NPCs are not brainless, and word should go around about that, picked up by your villain's eyes and ears of course. Even if you decide to ignore encumbrance rules, players need to account for what is in their adventuring pack and on their person, and really should not be allowed to carry 50 potions, or 25 spools of rope, or 100,000 gold pieces outside of magical means. If they have a bag of holding or something similar, what is in there needs to be accounted for. After all, it would be terribly unfortunate if something were to happen to their adventuring pack, a spy spotted where they kept their valuables, or thieves found an opportunity to make off with their bag of holding. Communicate with your players. While many players enjoy the thrill of a competent rival or overcoming a challenging fight, rightfully so, others may come away feeling a bit more negative and express that in different ways. I highly recommend open communication, not only to diffuse misunderstandings early, such as how the villain knew to be warded from the player's magic missile, but also to ask for feedback, in case you may be playing your villain at a higher level than they can handle, or maybe not enough. If your player has questions, answer them, but do not feel pressured to reveal every secret. Building trust at the table means honest, sometimes uncomfortable conversations, but it is crucial to remove any seeds of doubt that there is a DM versus player metagame going on. Just to be clear, there is a DM versus player metagame in this workshop, but not at your table. And that concludes today's chat. Thank you for your time, and please look forward to more workshops on building a better bad guy. Subscribe for more, like the video if you did, and I will see you on the next battlefield.